sometime, somehow, we will be punished. Punished?
In 2012, the world was supposed to end. At least according to the Mayans, it was. At least that's our interpretation of it. But what's my interpretation of it? I believe that they did not mean the end of the world as a planet. I believe they meant the end of the world as in the end of the old world, the end of our old ways. It was to signify the turn of a new era. And we can honestly see it happening now. It's like a war of morality. People don't seem to recognize that morality is subjective, and people want to push their own ideals upon others. We can't get along because, honestly, we've created a world that would not allow it. And allowing it would be as simple as collectively agreeing to. So right now we see a push on both sides. And maybe it's even more than two sides, but these two sides are just the most vocal. So in politics, we see, like, the Democrats and Republicans. They both have their own ideals, and they're both trying to push it on one another. One more so than the other. It also signified a new era in which the light and dark would fight for reign, basically, over reality. So light could win, dark could win. Either way, we're going to have extreme change in the coming future. And honestly, change has already started since 2012. You just need the eyes to see it. But this war for the future of humanity has multiple layers. Taking the light and dark, for example, these are spiritual aspects. There's light, which is love, and darkness, which is the opposite. They're basically opposites, but they honestly cannot survive without one another, because without one, the other wouldn't exist. And they are currently fighting it out. You can see it. Like, everyone always complains about the darkness. Nobody really talks about the light. And so since the darkness is put on such a pedestal and it's all that we see, we believe that the darkness is winning. But in reality, it's about 50-50. Because as much bad as there is in the world, there is an equal amount of good. Like, for every natural disaster we have groups of people volunteering to go out and save people that might be trapped underneath rubble or whatever. There is good in people, but at the same time, we hold the capacity for great darkness. I do honestly believe, though, that the next big question will be if we should take the technological route or if we should take the natural route. And honestly, I believe it has to be a choice. We can't collectively make that choice, to be honest with you. It has to be an individual choice. Because not everyone is going to want to take that technology route. And what I mean by that is that I believe we're coming to a time where the government's going to try to implement technology within the human body. Need it be RFID chips or neural implants, whatever your poison. I believe that it's going to happen soon. Probably not too soon, but in the future. So we all know that when RFID chips first come out, they're not going to be mainstream. It's going to be like the test stages. It's already happening all around the world. But once it becomes mainstream, it's probably going to become mandatory, replacing credit cards and debit cards and the such. And that would honestly be horrible in my opinion, because they would be taking the choice away from people. And if you're taking away the choice, wouldn't that mean that one of these religious texts is right? Because what the hell would be going on if they take away the choice for that? Like, it's such a small thing. So what if people want to get robbed, like, use a debit card, and then they have the slight risk of, like, having their debit card information stolen? Come on, man. It just wouldn't be right, is what I'm saying. People should have the choice. And if they don't have the choice, then something is definitely wrong there. And I do see that in the coming future, people will have the choice of going the technological route or the natural route. In all honesty, when I was a child, I always dreamed of living inside of a video game. I imagined that they would create special chips that they could place within the brain, and then one could tune into these chips to go into a virtual world, like virtual reality, except I didn't know it was called virtual reality back then. And it was such an amazing concept in my mind, and then I started seeing that progress was being made towards this goal. But as I got older, I started not liking that idea. Because in all honesty, if we do get to that, who's to say we won't create realities so similar to our reality right now that we could just jump in anytime? And what if that's what we're experiencing right now? What if this reality is that? I would want to die, go up there, wherever up there is, and not go back to this. Unless I had a reason for going back to this, But I'll probably get back to that in a later video, because that goes well with something I want to talk to you guys about. But yeah, I just want to basically keep dying until I don't die anymore, if that makes sense to you. But yeah, that's just my opinion of what they meant by the world ending, because it didn't end, but I do believe that we're going through changes, and we've been going through changes since 2012, like so many changes. Everyone wants their opinions to be right. Everyone wants to change everybody else's opinions to match theirs. That, the spiritual change, and then the technology versus nature, and who's to say there's not more things that I'm not covering here. Those are just the three that really are dug deep into my mind, and I just wanted to talk about it. So, have a good one.